Hi everybody, it's Kim George or Kimberly George. I am Kim Likes to Color with the number 2 on Instagram. I'm also Snickerdoodling LLC on Instagram as well as Facebook. I am the author of the Lighthearted Mandela coloring books that you may or may not be familiar with. I wanted to come on the channel today. And first of all, welcome to anybody new watching my channel for the first time, and to any of you that are returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. When I rolled my first video, I didn't think I'd have anybody watching, so it really warms my heart when I get feedback and comments from y'all. So thank you for just everything. I just really appreciate you guys. What I wanted to do today was come on here and hopefully give y'all a really easy tutorial for how to do what's called bokeh or bokeh effect. Bokeh is Japanese for blurry, and a lot of this, I first learned about bokeh when I was a photographer. I had a photography business for about 14 years, photographing children and families. And what drew me to photography in the first place was my dad was a photographer, and he would always capture these images where the person's face would be in sharp focus, but in the background you'd have these really cool blurry dots. And I always thought that was just fascinating. And so that captured me from the get-go. The fact that we can emulate this on coloring pages really gets me jazzed. So I have been trying to master this. This is not an easy technique. I'll say that from the get-go, but I'm going to try to break it down and make it as easy as possible. It's going to take some practice for sure. So hopefully you've got some maybe coloring books that, you can, maybe there's a page that you really don't care for that you can practice on, or just get a blank piece of copy paper, whatever. But hopefully I'll break this down for you in a way to make it easy to understand. But what happens is, you get some object in sharp focus, and then everything else, this is light reflected in the background. So here's what page I finished recently. This is from Johanna Basford's World of Flowers, and the page, my book is falling apart, so it was real easy to just pull this page out and say, hey, here you go. Oops, I just hit my camera stand, sorry. I get excited. So this is the one I'm most excited about, but I'm going to show you another attempt. This is from the Johanna Basford Christmas book. I think it's just called Johanna's Christmas. I can't remember, sorry. I'll put it in the description. This one is okay. It's not bad. First of all, I just don't think the colors go with the clock. But it's not my favorite, but I was just trying and I was learning, and I didn't really have it down. And you can see going from this one, oops, I keep knocking my little camera stand, I'm sorry, to this is different. And I think I figured it out. So I want to share this with you guys. But first of all, I want you to think about bokeh in a different way to hopefully help you with it. I'm going to do a little experiment. I cut out these little tissue paper circles. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so these are 2 white circles. And you can see where the paper overlaps. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little darker in this area where you have the overlap between the pieces of paper. Let me show you with like a pink. When you color your circles, I want you to think of tissue paper circles. And that's how light you're going to sort of color in the beginning. So you will be coloring white circles over pink, and you're going to have this little area that overlaps. But I was hoping that maybe showing you with tissue paper, and you can do it with any colors. It doesn't always have to be white, but you're going to have that little overlapping section, and you're going to have different sized circles. But that's one way to think about it. So these are really soft orbs of light. That's a little better. That you see in the background. So with that said, I'm going to break this down into 3 different techniques for you today. Okay, before we actually get started, one thing I wanted to talk about was picking your colors. So you can see here, your colors, it's a very harmonious color family, right? These yellows to oranges. So when you pick your colors, it's important that you pick your colors that will easily blend together. So if you have a color family chart, that is going to make a world of difference for you. So I have my normal Prismacolor swatch page, and again, I got this from Mags Tam's Prismacolor Facebook page. And I'll leave a link to that in the video. But this is just my pencils in numerical order, which mostly are kind of color family oriented, but not necessarily. But there's also, if you can get your hands on a color family chart for your pencil set, I think that will be a big helper for you. So you can see here, like here's my orange yellows, here are my violet blues. Today we're going to color with this color family down here, green yellows. But you can also, there's no rule, remember there's no rules in coloring that says you can't pull in another pencil. In fact, we're going to pull green ochre from orange yellow and use it over here with green yellow. But this is the ultimate cheat sheet, guys. So if you have your hands on one of these, this is going to be a real helper. Again, I got this from Mags Tam's group. Carolyn Spear actually did this one. And this, I believe I got from, this is for Polychromos. I got from the Coloring with Claire. I got it from her Facebook group. So these groups are really helpful because if you join these Facebook groups, and I'm not getting paid or anything to endorse them, but a lot of the time they have helpful files for the pencil sets that you're using that can really help you out in a lot of different ways, not just for coloring bokeh, but just any coloring page. Like, gosh, I want to color something with violets, which violets look good together, and then I can look on my color family sheet. Now here you can see I've got my numbers. This is just me numbering my pencils. You can see how I number a lot of my, oops, sorry, I keep bumping the stand. A lot of my pencils have numbers. That's just to make it easy to find them when I reach in my pencil case. But so the first step would be try to find a color chart, a family chart. If you don't have one, let me know and I'll see if I can help you hunt one down. I can't make any promises because there's like a bajillion brands of pencils out there, but we could probably get pretty close to something. So that's going to be your step number one. Okay, the first method I'm going to teach you is what I call the eraser method, and I'm going to use this cute baby dragon's book to do this in, since this is, oops, I knocked the stand again. This is Amazon paper. So that way we're practicing, I'm demonstrating on Amazon paper, and it's something that is more accessible to everybody than if I were to show you in a Johanna book or a Kirby book or something like that. So the first thing that you want to do is test to make sure all of your colors blend together. And so I've got, let's see here. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, here's a page. Yay. On this color test page, the colors that I have picked out, we've got cream, yellow chartreuse, I'm putting these in a really bad order, lime peel, moss green, and green ochre. So you want to do, your first test will be do these blend together. So you can do, and I'm just going to see if I can zoom in and do like a little test on blending these colors together. So there's cream, then I'll get my yellow chartreuse, and then my normal chartreuse. And you can see how, without even really blending anything, the colors sort of stair step from one to the next. And that will let you know that it's going to lend itself to work well if you're coloring a bokeh effect with it. If you can blend your colors and mix and match them with, relative ease, you should be okay. So here, now I'll come back. Just do my blending thing, y'all. Here's the lime peel. And then my chartreuse. Back to yellow chartreuse. And then at the top, cream. So that's not, perfectly blended. I didn't really burnish to get rid of all the white, but you can see it's a pretty nice gradient there. So I think that's gonna work really well. So let me come back to this page. So, oops, hello. He's so cute. This is just a really, what I would call a stupid cute book. Just, my sister taught me that phrase. It's stupid cute, Kim. Okay, so down here in this corner, I'm going to demonstrate what I call the eraser effect. So I'm going to set the cream and the white pencils aside, and I'm going to start out with my yellow chartreuse. And I'm just going to color in some background here. So I will speed up my camera as I color. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to burnish just yet because I don't want the colors, I don't want too much color down when I go to use my eraser. So, and I don't know what happened on my yellow chartreuse. I had some sort of a lime green on there. Anyway, whatever, we're not going to worry about it. So I have an electric eraser. So all you have to do is lay down like one layer of your background colors, and you don't have to stripe them. This looks like the package of fruit stripe gum. You don't have to stripe or have these stripes basically on your page, and we can blend those in later. You can mix, you can swirl your colors, you can just be super creative, but just for the sake of showing you guys how to do this, I'm trying to keep it simple. So what I'm going to do now, let me zoom in. I'm going to take my eraser and we're just going to erase some circles on this paper. Okay. Whoop. All right, and this is why we don't want to lay down too much color, because the color will dye your paper. Okay, so there's one circle. You could do one down here. You could do little circles. Okay. Trying to get stuff off my eraser. There we go. Circles over here. And you can, it's real easy. I think what's happening here is I'm probably picking up some of the paper, probably digging too hard with my hand. But you can see, you can just be real gentle. You make little circles here. There you go. Maybe we'll make one down here. Let's see if we can lift some of that color. Okay, not perfect, but you see already how you get sort of that pretty bokeh effect just using an eraser. It's so simple. So all you have to do now is you can take your white blender. You take a white pencil. You can take a blender pencil. I am not a fan of the Prisma blender pencil because for me, and this is what I call a user error, not anything wrong with the blender itself. I just find it gets real scratchy on my pages. So I usually like to use the lightest color I'm coloring with or white. So for this right here, we can take white. You can just sort of color in the white and blur that out a little bit. Make these, and it's okay. When you color bokeh, you actually want a blunt edge. You don't want it to be super sharp because you don't want to get harsh outlines. You want to have like a blenderly edge around your circles. And this circle might be trickier. Oh, that's actually working nicely with the white. But you can see how it softens what we did with the eraser. And if you've got a really good eraser, and this one I think was fairly cheap, maybe it was like $9 or something, I don't know. But I'm sure there are super powerful ones. You don't want it to like be like a saw, or what is it, where you, an orbital sander, where you sand away all of your paper. But this is version 1. And what you can also do is go back now that you've got your circles, and you can sort of start to lay down another layer of color on your background to make it a little darker, more vibrant. And that will make those circles pop just a little bit more. And as you go around those, you can keep using your white pencil to continue to blend in any like lines you might get or things like that. But you can see this is a really super easy way to do bokeh. I think it's the easiest way. Now here, in this case where it's so light, you could actually take your cream pencil and maybe do a faintest little bit of an outline there. Or maybe, we could maybe even go like yellow chartreuse, I'm not sure. But you could see there if you wanted to do that, just to get a little more definition around that circle. But I'm going to call this step 1. We won't finish burnishing all of this, just for the sake of keeping the video as short as possible. So number 1, eraser. I'll do a happy face, yay. Oh, and I just did that out of camera, huh. Okay, so now I'll be back. Let me reposition the camera and we'll do the second method. Be right back. Okay, now we're back. The second method I'm going to show you is what I call the white circle only method. So here, instead of erasing the circles, we are going to actually draw circles on our page. I still have little pencil shavings all over my page, I can feel it. I'm going to take my cream pencil and I'm going to draw circles around here. And this might be difficult to see right now, but I'm gonna just draw some up here. And then we'll show you how we'll do this. So I don't know that you can see those very well at all, and that's okay. So now what we'll do is we'll start blending in with our background. So I will speed up again, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to talk about how to make this work. But basically, I'm just going to start coloring, and I'm going to do little circles. I don't know if you can see as I color this. Just do little circles around the circle that I drew. And that's because, again, I don't want a hard line, and this has 2 intersecting little bubbly circles, but I don't want to do a hard line there, again, because you don't really want a harsh outline. You want to try to, because we're going to go back and blur it in a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all of my pencil colors and go over this section here, and I will speed up the video, and we'll be back in just a minute to talk about it. Okay, I'm back. So all I've done is I've just put down 1 layer of color, and I haven't really tried too hard to blend between the different colors where they meet. So what I'm going to do now, just like we did before, oops, you know, I thought I had this rigged, but my left arm keeps hitting this. I'm going to take my white blender pencil, and I'm going to go over and soften, like right here along. Let me zoom in, see if that helps, see if you can see that. And just color in that circle. And again, you want to color along the edges, and you can do little circles around the edges, which will really blur it out nicely. And here's our big circle. And again, I've got a blunt tip. You don't want to use a real pointy tip, which is so contrary, because don't we love pointy pencils? They just work wonderfully. And color that in, that guy. Now here, I've got two circles intersecting, so how do I make that look more like two? So what you could do, this is where you could take your cream pencil and you could add like a little bit of cream. You see where I put that in between the two? I don't know if it's real obvious on this camera or not. And you can do that, is add a little bit of the cream if you wanted to, or you could even add maybe a little bit of the yellow chartreuse, just to sort of show that I've got two little circle-y objects there. And don't be afraid if your background is so light that they don't show up. That's okay. That's how it is in nature, right? Or if you were to look through the lens of a camera, you might see it the same way. There's no perfect way, and this is something where I promise you, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, this looks terrible. Please keep going, because the more you do this, and I mean keep going on the page you're working on, not keep going like, well, I mean, certainly keep going, like keep practicing, but the more you do this, and sometimes it's something where you have to step back and just really look at, look at what you're doing to see, oh, this is actually looking a lot better than I thought. So when you're up close looking at it, it's hard to see the effect. But the more you step back and really look at what you're creating, the more you're gonna see it. So here, blurring out the edges on these guys. And then we got this little guy over here. He's not very circular, but we'll just go with it. Okay, so now here, what I can do is take my, sorry, this was moss green. My moss green, go in and we can just start to darken that a little bit. And you can leave that blurry area and you can blur into this darker color. What you could also do, if the white is too difficult to blur right into the moss green, you could take Limepeel, right? So kind of go back a color, and you can maybe use a little Limepeel there to help blur that out just a little bit. And then on the inside, definitely go back with your white again. And that gives it sort of almost a little bit of an ethereal glow. So you see how there's just no right or wrong way to do this. You just sort of play with it. I know people probably hate hearing, just play with it. You'll figure it out. But really, just play with it. You'll figure it out, I promise. But this is something that, again, takes time and practice to master. So again, this is the method number 2. And let's see, I'm a completionist. So especially like when I'm a gamer, I'm a completionist. I have to get all the achievements. So I have a hard time leaving things unfinished sometimes. Okay, so you get the idea. That's a square bokeh. Anyway, okay, so this is method number 2. Let's see, let me put this in here. Number 2, all white circles. All right, and I'll be back and we will now do method number 3. Okay, before we jump into method number 3, this is method number 3. So what we're gonna do, method number 3 is going to be used on a page where you want to maybe move from like a light area to a dark area. And we're going to use different colored circles for our bokeh. But the trick is, where do you put the different colored circles? How do you do it? And that's what I'm gonna show you. So I'll be right back. Okay, so for method number 3, I want you to think about zones on your page. like maybe this zone is where we're going to color yellow, chartreuse, green chartreuse, to lime peel, to moss green, to green ochre, right? So we're just going to kind of go light to dark this way. So what I'm going to do is start out with drawing some circles with my cream pencil. And I'm going to go ahead and color in these circles just gently, nothing real super intense. Just draw a handful of them around here. What's nice is when you have the lightest pencil can go in all of the areas. Where it gets tricky is, am I going to put down a lime green pencil in an area where there's going to be lime green? And how do I deal with that? So now the next pencil that we have that's darker is yellow chartreuse. So yellow chartreuse, I might go out here and maybe I'll add like a little yellow chartreuse on this circle here and put some yellow chartreuse here and then over here. Okay, then the next one we have is chartreuse. So again, we want to keep going out. Now you can put chartreuse in this area because this is going to be yellow chartreuse. So this will be darker and that's okay. So maybe we've got a little chartreuse around this circle here and then a chartreuse here, maybe one over here. Ooh, this is looking like I'm making rows. Okay, lime peel. So we'll do lime peel back here, maybe one here. We do a little bit of a lime peel off of this circle here. Maybe one here. So you just want to be careful thinking about, okay, where are my background colors going to go now? And how do I do this? So what I'm going to do is stop there, and now we're going to put in our background. So this is the part where I'm going to start out with yellow chartreuse. I'm going to start coloring and we'll go light to dark. Now, if I've made a mistake and like this is too light, then good news is we can make it darker. If it's too dark, we can always lighten it with cream or white. So it's a little bit forgiving. This doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and speed color and show you guys how this is going to look. So here we go. Okay, let's look at how we did. So a lot of these are disappearing. So what I can do is a couple of things. I could take a darker color in here, or I could color darker around my background. So the first thing I want to try is coloring darker around the background. So you can see here, my same color background ran into the same circle. So on that one, I'm going to make that lime peel. Because why not, right? And isn't that pretty? I really have learned to love lime peel. It's almost a pencil crush, but not quite. My ultimate pencil crush is light aqua Prismacolor. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my yellow here, oops, there we go, and just sort of darken this up a little bit. And we're still preserving this cream color. there's a cream one here. It's sort of hard to see, but there we go. Okay, and then over here, here's a cream circle. And then we've got a couple. That looks like that was a yellow. I'll just color right over that one. Not gonna worry about it. And this is the lime, or I'm sorry, the chartreuse color here. So we'll color that circle there. And then what I'm going to do is come back with the cream. Try to color that in a little bit more. And maybe on this chartreuse, I'll take a little lime peel. There we go. Maybe add a little bit darker background there. And you can even take your yellow chartreuse around the cream. Give it a little more definition there. So when I do that, I'm not doing a real pointy, hard outline, but it is giving it enough there so you can see that it's a different circle. Okay, let me, oh, oops, wrong color, lime peel. So here I'm just mixing and matching the colors. All right, so on this one here, I'm going to take a little bit more and just really darken that background around that one. So that's cream. And you can even make them white, so we could still use our white if we wanted to, even though we did a cream outline. You can see how that makes that one. Let me zoom in for you guys. I'm so sorry. Here we go. That makes that a little blurrier. And then again here, with this lime peel, if you wanted to, we could just darken that. Or again, we've got our white here. So this is that example of tissue paper where I said you're going to have two intersecting colors. So you could put a little bit of lime peel in there to sort of show that translucent effect. What's my word? Translucent. So here's lime peel, and I might go over that with a little, actually, you know what? You can lighten that just with white, and it blurs it out. So see, you just have to play with your colors, and you can really get lots of fun, different surprising things. I know you come to a tutorial to learn how to surprise yourself, right? Okay. All right, so we're gonna keep going here and just clean these up a little bit. So again, we did cream here. So that looks fine, but what I'm gonna do is darken my lime peel that was around the outside of that one and around the outside of this little guy here. And now here, this was, I believe, oh, that looks yellow chartreuse, doesn't it? So here you can make it just a little bit of a yellowy color, and then we can go over it with white. And again, the white will be to really just kind of blur this area here. But you could see, and you can even take probably like maybe even a green chartreuse and do something like that to give it a little separation, but not too much. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going darker. So we've got our moss color here, and this I believe is lime peel. So let's take our lime peel, then we can take our white, blurry, 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 and then let me come back with my moss green. And you can see there, I'm not even looking to see if my hand's in the way. Sorry if it is. Okay, so now we've can just take the white and blur the edges a little bit, or you can even take your lime peel and kind of blur into that moss green a little bit. And that is an oblong bokeh circle. You're welcome. That's advanced bokeh. If you can make oblong circles, you're winning. Here's another one. I probably should have made my circles that intersect kind of the same size. So that one, I don't know if you saw, was the lime peel, and it was picking up the lime peel background, so I went a little darker. So I actually went with green ochre on that one. So this one, we can definitely bring some of the green ochre up over that overlapping circle, and then blur it out a little bit. And then you can use your white to blur it some more. And then our lime peel background is right here. So it's kind of keeping up with what's my background color going to be. Where am I in my background colors? Do I need to blend more? Do I need to lighten it? Or just like this one, I would darken it. So let's darken it up with some moss green maybe. Just a little, there you go. And then we can blur it out. Okay, so that looks good. And then we've got, this is moss green, so that's lime peel right here. This is tricky. That's why this is method 3. I would say this is advanced. So if you, and we can make like a little bokeh guy right here. We can even take the ivory or the cream. See how that blurs him out a little bit? Using just the cream instead of the white. Okay, so what I will do here is I will stop blurring and let you guys kind of look, and you can see where this is heading, to see how that's going to look and how you can use the different colors. Again, it's just trial and error. You're really just putting down colors. The same thing with circles. And again, just remember tissue paper circles. Oops. And hopefully you're not like me and you have a cleaner white pencil. But this is very easy to do. Well, actually, let me clean this up. I don't want to leave that guy sitting out there all by himself. Like, what about me? You didn't color me. So this was yellow chartreuse. There we go. And you can even, if you wanted to, is take white just in like the center of it to give the center like a lighter glow. Or maybe even use your eraser if you wanted to make that really just be super translucent. And again, we can take the white around the edges. Blur, blur, blur. Okay, so this one, I really don't like that one, but we'll just sort of, we'll let that go. That just sort of is not my favorite. I think it's, but you know what? Let me see if I could take cream, make that different. Yep, there we go. See, all better. Blurry, blurry, blurry. All right, so that is method 3. So I'm gonna call it number 3, colorful, oops, circles. Okay, so now you see we've got 3 different ways that you can color bokeh. So number 1 is the eraser method. Again, we just lay down some color and use your eraser to pick up the color, and then you can blur it in with a white blender pencil. Number 2 is all white circles, where you would draw the circles in lightly with like a cream colored pencil, then do your background, and then you'll go in afterwards and blend all of your colors together. And then number 3 is what I call colorful circles, where you use all the different colors of your pencils to lay down the circles, and you're just gonna blend around them. I hope this has helped demystify bokeh a little bit. There's so many. I went out and probably watched every tutorial on YouTube on how to do this. This is tricky. It's hard. I would say this is like beginner, medium, advanced. So just decide where you want to go. Maybe start here and then work your way up. But this does take practice. Like I said, I didn't really blend anything out completely like I did here. So this is all, this is all burnished and completely blended. And that's what you can get if you just keep going with your blending and your colors. But I hope this helps. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, if I skipped anything and you're not sure how to do something, please reach out and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. Also subscribe if you haven't, only if you want to, don't feel obligated. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that little bell so you'll get notified when I post new tutorials. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye. Hi, it's me again. I just had to come on here and show you what this will look like finished once you burnish and blend everything in. So I just couldn't leave you guys hanging with like a half colored in background, so I went ahead and burnished as much as I could really quick for you. So again, you have the eraser, the all white dots, and then the different colored dots. So hopefully that really shows you how beautiful this background can be. And I hope again that it demystified it for you. Sorry for the PS on this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.